What's up, Dre?
Honey Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing really good.
Oh, looking good back there. Let's go.
I know. I love it, man.
A
You
little
have any
jealous.
projects happening in your house or anything, or what?
So my wife is a school counselor, and it's her last day is tomorrow. So I'm sure next week there's going to be something fun. I just don't know it yet.
Is she a planner?
No. So that's where, she'll tell me about 3 projects she has in mind.
When do you find out? Yeah, you'll find out.
Yeah. On Sunday, driving back from Jersey, from a lacrosse tournament. Hey, so I was thinking, that fire pit that we were going to do.
Mhm.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I got to close a few more deals so we don't feel the burden.
Yeah, that's the freaking truth, man.
James, you married?
No, I'm not. Divorced. So
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 life,
been there, done that.
been there, done that. Yeah,
life is cheaper now, yeah?
much cheaper. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of free time.
Yeah, that's it, dude. Sweet. Dre, you got my text earlier, by the way?
I did not, but I've been all over the place.
That's cool.
I didn't see it.
I was going to send it to you, James, but it doesn't make sense because your business is so different. But I finally finished building my app that basically gets rid of the HQ doc. It has a bunch of other stuff in there. And you can do it. James, your business has too much of the buy now, later
Yeah.
thing where it doesn't really make sense. But where's my thing? Where's the chat? Oh, there it is. If you want to check it out, it's over there. It has a whole one-on-one stuff and everything as well.
All right, yeah. Let me take a look at this.
I'm not going to waste everybody's time talking about it, but you can jump in. It's a whole setup guide. It should take about 5 or 10 minutes to set up. What's up, Hannah? Excuse me. Trying to suck down some sour starbursts. Trying to be healthy. All right, cool. Fun fact: these sour starbursts taste like now and laters. I don't know how much it ages me, but if you know, you know. Let me just
Gotta love those.
so good. I'm trying to pull the last transcript from our last call and make sure because the last session, it was only there's only a couple people that they'd already seen a lot of stuff. So you talked about some different things here. Sup, Brick? Holy shit, I've never seen you at this time of day. I just assumed you woke up at 4. Hammonds, you the manins? Hammonds, can I tell you something? Can I give you some feedback?
100%.
When you show me your app that you run for your business, it gave me the confidence to finish building my app.
To steal my idea and monetize it.
No. I said
Right.
you were my muse to build an app that will be free, and it is still free, and anybody else here can get access to it.
It is an amazing world we're now living in, isn't it?
It certainly is.
I equated it the other day. It's like, when you're a little kid, you have imagination and you can build whatever you imagine, and then your imagination kind of outgrow your imagination kind of outgrows you, and suddenly I feel like it's caught up a little bit. Like I have an idea and I can build it again. Because my imagination goes beyond blanket forts and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. I think it's great. So anyways, if you guys want to check it out, you all have access to it there. You can create your own login, delete stuff. It has a whole setup guide. If you want to use it, Hannah, I would definitely recommend it for you. So you're jumping in newer. James would not recommend it for you. Brick, I would definitely recommend it for you. This is basically the scorecard. A lot of the stuff is a scorecard. Hammonds, steal some cool ideas from it and put it into your own thing that you already have built. And Dre, you should use this for yourself. Now, that said, we're going to dive in today. X that out. I'm usually on 2 monitors. Now I'm hanging out outside and I don't have the second monitor, and it's throwing me a little bit. Okay. Where we last landed, we were talking quite a lot about culture. I might have to move inside. My computer is getting so hot. So let's finish up that conversation. Yeah, I'm going to move inside for a sec here, guys. Sorry, the computer is not liking the sun blasting it. Can a man just get a tan? Okay. So let me screen. Okay. So recapping here a bit here, guys. So last time we were talking about the elements of culture and what these things actually mean. So when you first come into an organization or what I'd recommend you do right now is think about your current team or an old team or even a non-professional group of humans that you're in to understand this conceptually. So the idea with culture is you guys all have shared values, right? Like when we were in high school, I didn't hang out with the goth kids or the druggies because that just wasn't, they didn't have the same values that I had. The whole ideal, I feel like, of being a parent is to be like, instill good values so that when you're not with your kids, they're going to make choices that are aligned with those values. You don't have to be there right next to them saying, don't hang out with the kid who's smoking meth. Just make the right, where you should hang out. This is the same thing we want to have happen on our teams. I don't need to be next to you as you're on the call saying, hey man, if I can just give you a discount, sign up now, to tell you not to do that. If I can create an environment where my values, though maybe not specific to that individual situation, have been defined, but the values in general have, and you would be able to, in the moment, know that you absolutely should not do that or should do that if that is something you value. So that's the first bit. We spent a lot of time talking about how this is basically the brand of your universe, and the bigger you can make the brand, the less people you have to talk to, the less interactions you need. And a great final example I'll give to this is Bezos. I think something they did at Amazon. I know also the CMO of Slack, who was also the CMO of Zendesk, who was also the CMO of Salesforce, did this, which is in their meetings, in almost every conference room, there was one chair that was put against the wall, and left empty. The idea was everything we say in this meeting should be something that we're comfortable saying if a customer were here. That seat is the seat for the customer. So Bezos was trying to get around the culture, the values of customer first. And that pervaded, decisions that they made about packaging that maybe were a little bit more expensive, or where the centers are, or how the website was, and even all the way into was there a chair in the room? So he didn't have to be there on that HR meeting that was happening at 2:30 with somebody 65 levels below him to be able to get them to act in a way that was aligned with his vision, customer first. And he did it with that one chair. Okay. So within your organization, your team, you want to think about what your values are and if those are being utilized across the team. So first, ask yourself, what are the kinds of things I hate about other teams I've been on? What are the kinds of things I would be embarrassed to be described as? The opposite are your values. Now, to make this really work, go to your team and ask those same questions. In the next one-on-one, ask them individually. In the next mashup, take 5 minutes to talk about it, or do an offsite where you spend a lot of time talking about it. Pro tip is my phrase, as it relates to. If your team, has a bad attitude, bad set of values, lack of integrity as it relates to respecting other people in the organization, CRM hygiene, discounting, you can say, hey guys, what are our values as a team? Hey guys, what are our values as it relates to discounting? What are our values as it relates to CRM hygiene? What are our values as it relates to respecting other people in the organization? In that environment where it's we're deciding, everybody will say publicly, I think we should have great CRM hygiene. I think we should respect everybody, right? But then at that point, you're okay, we're going to slap that on a slide like I do here, Monday matchup. Here are our values. I'm going to slap it on a slide and say it every week. Now it's becoming a thing. And I didn't create it. Everybody else created it. Okay. Now the next thing we've got here, though, I want to talk about these other elements. First of all, I know I'm talking and I'm on my soapbox here. Questions, pushback, clarifications.
How often are you bringing this up? Because I feel like do you bring it up every time you hire somebody new and you just remind your team, or is this a beginning of the year initiative and then you touch base halfway through the year?
Neither. Every single week. Sorry. Yeah, Jeff, what's the answer?
Every Monday mashup.
Every Monday mashup.
5 seconds at the beginning. Just go over the values real quick.
It literally will look like
so pretty much what you were just saying is you'll add it to a slide every Monday mashup.
Yes. So the Monday mashups look exactly like this. This is going to be at pace. What's up, guys? You guys ready to dive in? All right, sweet. As you guys know, the things we care about are respect, professionalism, and persistence. Those were a value.
Yep.
If you do well, you look like this. If you don't do well, it looks like this. Let's look at the scorecard. That was at pace.
Yep.
At pace. But now I'm just saying it as a small little thing. It's the equivalent of when you go, if you were at a baseball stadium, I'm sure somewhere it says home of the brave.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that doesn't mean anything. You're not looking at it, you're not thinking about it, but it's there, and it makes sure it's the consistency of it is what gets you to go, oh, America, home of the brave. Yeah.
Subconsciously.
subconsciously. So you're
And
saying,
you know what? The way you phrased that earlier of like in relation to, what that made me think about too is it's a good way of acid testing your values also to see if they
Stick.
are well and are broad enough for everything, right? Does that like do our values include a reason not to why we don't discount and sell everything at 50%?
yeah, sure. Like if I say, hey, what are your values? And they're like, work hard and do the right thing, let's say. If I later go, like, as it relates to CRM hygiene, what do you think? And they're like, well, I think we should just, do whatever we want to do. I'd be like, well, is that really aligned with work hard and do the right thing? Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. So I think we also work hard and do the right thing as it relates to hygiene. So yes, this can be really
I like that.
cool. So values, this is what they feel. This is where it all breaks down. This is what I say. This is what I do. So if I say I care about people who work hard and then I don't fire the guy who's not working hard but is getting results, my value is not working hard. My value is really just going to be what I say until I prove otherwise. And if I prove otherwise by not firing the person who's cheating or keeping someone along longer than the predetermined time I said I would keep people along for, or not helping the guy who's not doing well, sending leads the wrong way, like it's better, you will get a bigger long-term investment by doing something that will hurt you in the short term to maintain the culture of like, okay, if Mike says that you have to do X, you definitely have to do it. There's never been a time where he's not done it. Okay. So that's what this bit is, which is just to say, like, what are the things that you need to accept? The key is just consistency. You need to be the same everywhere. So these are some examples of things. Consequences. This is shares the depth with which you believe in a value. I don't think we should swear on calls. A value of mine is professionalism. So I do not think it's acceptable to swear in calls. If you do, you're fired. If you do, I talk to you about it. In one world, you can imagine what their culture is. In another world, you can imagine how different that culture is. If I swear, I am fired. If I swear, my boss is not going to like it. So you can see the depth with which your boss cares about the item. So exactly. So just think about, if you want to think about your own things that you've allowed, if you spend 3 weeks talking about the importance of discounting, some CRM hygiene stuff, some phrase, 3 weeks talking about it, and you spend 5 minutes of one meeting saying who the rep of the week was, you are communicating to them, I value you following my orders more than I value acknowledging you're evaluating them both. You're saying I value both of them. But if one is talked about every week for 3 weeks and one is talked about for 5 minutes at the end of the meeting, 10 minutes at the end of the meeting, realize that what you're communicating is you don't value it as much. So this is also a time for you to think through, am I disproportionately giving time to things that I want or I value? So if you know that you're wanting everybody to change because everybody's being lazy, let's say, to make a simple example, make sure, and you know that you're kind of sort of like ramping it up, make sure that you are ramping up the other side of something too. Okay. Doesn't have to mean that you're spending 20 minutes, building people up or whatever. This could be more one-on-ones or more time in the next one-on-one with your guy about how great he's doing, or a nice note. So it doesn't have to be like 8 minutes kind of thing. It's just like the vibe. And then finally, we have traditions. So traditions are the reinforcement of the values when you're not there. This is the example I should have used. This is the time I should have used the Bezos example. A tradition at Amazon is having the chair in the room empty. So Bezos does not need to be there to say, hey guys, as you guys know, we care about customers. So let's make sure we make this conversation one that's really customer focused. Bezos just has a tradition where the chair is there. And people see that and go, oh yeah. So the same way there's a tradition in that we July 4th have fireworks. If we stopped having that tradition of fireworks, I bet you July 4th would start to kind of fizzle, kind of go away. And then the heart of the country sort of starts to go away because there's less and less is bringing us together. So the traditions here are just things that remind you you're on this team. Examples, and here's what I mean. So like when someone's on, great example, Jeff Hammonds. Jeff Hammonds knows that I like to swear. And so there's essentially, involuntarily, a tradition has been created, which is Mike swears. If I'm on Mike's team, he's going to swear. So right there, even Jeff was reinforcing, like Jeff was hearing me say something about swearing over here, and he was knowing like that goes against the traditions here. I made a joke at it. So swearing is a tradition. One-on-ones always starting with the same 10-10-10 format is a tradition. Feedback always being, can I give you some feedback, or some other phrase, is a tradition. You guys calling it a Monday mashup versus a Monday meeting, tradition. So anything that you do consistently becomes a tradition. And when you do traditions, it reinforces the fact that, oh yeah, without Mike having to say we value A, B, and C, and this is acceptable and this is not, and here's what he does if you do, and here's what he does if you don't. Here's what's going to happen. You don't have to do any of that. You just say, hey, can I give you some feedback? And everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm in that culture. I'm in America. Fireworks. Do you feel?
Yes.
I most definitely feel. Thank you. All right. Now, I would like you to either physically do this or think through this. For each person on your team, I want you to answer these questions for yourself. Does my boss care? Would the people on your team, would they answer yes to, does my boss care? Does my boss help me? Are they consistent, or do they set boundaries? And does he celebrate winning? Are we a winning team? This is a great exercise to do quarterly, to think in your next one-on-one, I need to make sure I can show them that I care, help, set boundaries, and otherwise. In the middle here are some examples of ways you can do that. And you can see why. Even if you're not helpful, if I know Dre's like, I'm fucking worried. You guys have all had that manager who's too busy to help you, but they're like, I'm here for you, man, whatever. Like, I'm just fucking busy. But like, how are you? You're like, I'll go through a brick wall for this motherfucker, even though they're not helpful at all, right? And in the same way, if I were to give you guys 3 hours of time, of one-on-one time tomorrow morning, you would probably in the middle of it be like, hey man, can I help you with something? You're going to feel like indebted to me in some way. The boundaries is really the consistency. Like if this whole, everything falls, the culture falls apart if we have different, if it's not consistent, because it's like, you know, it's almost like weird in the US that we still have a lot of the same culture, but every 4 years we have a different culture set for us, right? And then winning. So like let me put it this way. Having to think about culture is a result of not winning. If you are winning, none of the rest matters. Because it's just like, this is fun. Everything's great. People will act with integrity because they're like, why would I bother cheating? People will be nice because they're so fulfilled with how good they are. They want to give more. So if you win, everything is solved. However, it isn't always the case. So you want to make sure you're always celebrating that winning and making sure winning is happening. So for example, if everybody sucks at revenue, I'm going to start looking at win rate. If everybody sucks at quota percent, I'm going to start looking at like other records that we're breaking with individual deals. Always want to make sure that we're winning.
Like I got a situation where like I just got a young rep who is doing everything the right way. You know, she'll go out and network. She'll go out and do her cold calls. She'll like she does everything the right way, but just hasn't won, and it's starting to bring the morale down. Like what wins would you bring out of those situations to try to keep, like, you know, as the older we get, we understand how hard this is. But for the young reps that haven't really been through much,
and they're seeing her hustle, going, Jesus, I'm gonna have to hustle so much more. I don't even want to hustle as much as she's hustling, and I got to do more than that. Yeah, I would look at a bigger extended period of time, likely. So to say like, hey, this is how much, you know, over the last 12 months, the average is X, or hey, in the last 6 months you did X, and in this 6 months you did Y.
Yeah.
So you're on pace to do. So like right now I'm seeing no revenue, right? But it's like a lot of the things she's probably doing are going to result in stuff in the future.
100%.
So I would be like, hey, you basically like last year got 100 leads. This year you're on pace to get 400 leads. What do you mean? I don't have 400 leads. You're like, yeah, but the things you're doing should lead to 400 leads. Hell, even if it leads to half that, this is great. So yeah, extend the timeline. Otherwise, I would look at her throughputs. So like your ability to convert someone that has come in, even though I know we didn't get a lot of them, to end up buying, or your deal size when they do. And I wouldn't look at that so much, the like overall number.
Perfect.
Okay.
Mike, on those cards that you were just showing, I was reading some research recently. Google has this Project Oxygen, which is kind of their management research and track. I mean, they say it differently, but almost tracks exactly, especially those first three, just with how high those are the keys to retention, right?
Nice. All right, sweet. Look at that. I'm back by
So-
Google.
I'm sure you pulled that out of your butt, but it tracks exactly with research too. So
Yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, that's cool. All right. How do you make change in an organization? So the size and speed of the behavior change you want is speed, formality, exclusivity, and quality times the behavior. Behavior, let's pick a behavior. Good job. If I say good job, the second that you finish, you said something on a call, it was great, and I go, good job. That is better than good job on that call from yesterday. If I make it more formal, instead of saying good job, I go, hey, can I grab you for a second? I got to tell you something. It's really important. On that call, can I give you some feedback? On that call where you did this, made this happen. Let's really appreciate that. It's much more formal, or an email, or a note from my boss, or a note from my boss's boss, or a handwritten letter, or a coin. Okay. Then the quality. If I give the feedback and I just go, man, I want to shake your hand, dude. That was awesome. Shaking my hand is more formal. Let's say the speed is there, but that's not really high quality. If instead I'm like putting you on stage, making you wear a suit, handing you a trophy, or I'm handing you a coin, but the coin isn't like a generic coin. It's a coin that says like, Acme Corporation, whatever. If instead of saying great job and putting you on a leaderboard, I put it on a whiteboard, or instead of a whiteboard, I put it on a plaque, or if instead of me saying great job over email, I increase the quality of it by writing a whole blurb about how great you are, or I have it from my boss's boss to make it seem like it's coming from higher quality, then it's better. And then the exclusivity. If I say good job to everybody, this is useless. But if only one person wins it, it's that much more valuable. So I'm going to bring this back for a minute to feedback. Feedback. Feedback is, can I give you some feedback, or whatever phrase you prefer? When you X, Y happens, keep it up, or please stop. The reason for that, one, is speed. I want you to say the thing in the moment. That's the whole purpose of feedback, is that it's not like this thing you're waiting on. You're doing it right in the moment. It's formal. There's a format for it. The quality seems quite high because you are not just saying like great job or I liked that. You are taking the time in your brain to think through how does that action they did relate to something they care about, and you're giving it to them. And then for exclusivity, if you remember, the rollout of feedback is you only give positive feedback only to top reps for like 2 weeks. And then you only give negative feedback to top reps for about 2 weeks. This creates that exclusivity of like only top reps. Mom only says good stuff about top reps. Mom only gives a hard time to the top reps, to you getting it. And now because you created this exclusivity in the beginning, the aura of that sticks around for a long period of time. Cool. So what I would recommend that you guys do from this point is, if you want to use the app, use the app. There's great stuff in there. You'll see the one-on-one component in particular. Cool. Look at each of your reps that you have one-on-ones with and ask them, do they think that I work hard for them, that I like them or care about them? And do they think that I'm helping them? And if the answer is no, figure out what you can do for them. And then if you have not been bringing feedback into the organization, especially in the quick capacity, this is the time to set a reminder for yourself, use a checklist. Of course, all that stuff is inside the app as well. But that's what I recommend you guys do over the next 30 days or so. Questions, pushback, issues, even better. Get the fuck out of here. Go sell some shit. Talk soon.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Later.